Hello, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to explore a fascinating theme that blends biblical spirituality, mysticism, and self-discovery. I invite you to keep an open mind and a calm heart. Here, we do not speak of fatalism, but of influence, responsibility, and choice. Shall we begin? Biblical astrology. What the Bible reveals about the Zodiac. Have you ever heard of biblical astrology? First of all, it is important to understand what this really means. Many people believe that astrology is when the stars and planets determine, in an absolute way, everything that will happen in our lives, as if we were trapped in a fixed destiny, without choices or freedom. But the biblical and mystical perspective is not like that. The Bible shows us that yes, the heavenly bodies do exert influence, but that does not cancel out our free will. We remain responsible for the decisions we make. Right at the beginning of Genesis, when God creates the stars and the lights of the heavens, it becomes clear that their purpose was not only to shine upon the earth, they also had an impact on the unfolding of events in the world. In the book of Job, for example, God asks, "Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you establish God's dominion over the earth?" In other words, there are spiritual laws that connect heaven to life here below. In the book of Judges, when Deborah celebrates a miraculous victory, she even declares that the stars themselves participated in that battle. But of course, because of the risk of misuse, the Bible also brings strong warnings about astrology. In Deuteronomy, God instructs his people not to seek omens, including through the stars, but instead to walk in trust and purity before him. The prophet Jeremiah reinforces this. "Do not learn the ways of the nations, or be terrified by signs in the heavens, though the nations are terrified by them." And in Isaiah, the warning is even stronger against those who used astrology to deceive people, promising destinies that did not reflect God's plan. Therefore, it is not that the heavens have no influence. The real danger lies in their misuse and in distorted interpretations. Now that we understand this, let's dive into something truly fascinating: the signs within biblical and Kabbalistic tradition. Important note: in biblical astrology, we worked with the solar year of 365 days, not the lunar year of 354 days. 1. Aries Nisan, in Hebrew, called T, corresponding to the month of Nisan, which takes place in April. It is the month of spring in Israel, the season of renewal, when harsh winter ends and life blossoms again. According to tradition, God planned creation in this very month, and not by chance. Aries is linked to the tribe of Judah, the tribe of royalty, from which King David and the Messiah would come. Those born under Aries carry an energy of leadership, independence, and vitality. They are dynamic individuals, full of life and a strong will to lead. But they must learn to master their impulses. After all, those who are ruled by desires become slaves to them, losing their inner royalty. As a fire sign, Aries brings enthusiasm and passion, but also impulsiveness. The Aries personality often seeks quick results, sometimes rushing past steps or even people without realizing it. The great challenge is to cultivate patience, gratitude, and humility. Taurus Shor. The second sign, Shor in Hebrew, corresponds to Taurus and is associated with the tribe of Issachar. In scripture, this tribe is compared to a beast of burden, not in a negative sense, but as a symbol of strength to carry both material and spiritual responsibilities. Taurians long for security, stability, and consistency. They value work, routine, family, and the steady building of life. The earth element brings firmness, discipline, and loyalty. Yet it may also cause slowness in adapting to changes or making decisions. Nevertheless, Taurians are trustworthy, mature, and dedicated individuals. They rarely waste energy or resources and possess the gift of turning patience into lasting achievements. 3. Gemini TMM. In Hebrew, TMM means twins. This sign is connected to the month when Israel received the Torah on Mount Sinai, a time symbolizing spiritual abundance. Geminis are masters of communication. They have the natural ability to speak, write, teach, and persuade. Curious, versatile, and adaptable, they thrive on learning and exchanging ideas. The element air grants them lightness and sociability, but it can also generate indecision and difficulty committing to long-term paths. Even so, their intellectual curiosity and quick learning make them true multipliers of knowledge. Cancer Sartan. The fourth sign is Cancer Sartan. In Hebrew, Cancerians are deeply tied to family and home. They have strong intuition, remarkable memory, and emotional sensitivity. Their ruling celestial body is the moon, which passes through phases, symbolizing their changing moods. When Cancerians learn to channel their intuition correctly, they are capable of sensing trends and caring for those around them with deep affection and devotion. 5. Leo Arieh. The fifth sign is Leo. Arieh in Hebrew. Just as the lion is the king of animals, Leos radiate dignity, nobility, and leadership. They are optimistic, creative, and inspiring, but must be cautious of pride and an inability to accept criticism. Their challenge is to balance authority with humility, learning to listen without losing their natural strength. Enam. Virgo Betul. In Hebrew, Betul is tied to the month of Elul, the time of preparation for the Jewish New Year. Virgos strive for purity and integrity. They are perfectionists, analytical, and reflective. They prefer to evaluate before acting and carry a strong sense of duty. On the positive side, they excel at organization and correction, but they may fall into excessive criticism or self-demand. Sechi Liba Menus Mosna. The seventh sign, Mosnaim, means scales. It corresponds to the month of Tishrei, the season of creation and divine judgment. Libras long for justice, balance, and harmony. They are diplomatic, sociable, and often peacemakers. Their gift is reconciling people and creating harmony around them. Yet their tendency to weigh every side often leads to indecision. 8. Scorpio, Akrov. In Hebrew, Akrov means scorpion. This sign is defined by intensity. Scorpios live everything to the extreme. They can achieve great victories or fall into deep failures. They possess powerful spiritual perception, almost like a scent of the soul, discerning the essence of people. They are warriors, determined and courageous, but must be careful not to become too radical in their judgments. 9. Sagittarius, Keshet. In Hebrew, Keshet means bow, and is linked to the tribe of Benjamin. This sign symbolizes freedom, expansion, and heroism. Sagittarians are optimistic, creative, and visionary. They want to illuminate the world with new ideas, just like the lights of Hanukkah. Their challenge lies in learning responsibility without feeling that it robs them of their independence. 10. Capricorn Gedi. In Hebrew, Gedi associated with Saturn. Capricorn embodies determination and prosperity. Capricorns are tireless workers, capable of building wealth and stability. Their focus allows them to pursue goals until they are achieved. Their greatest lesson is balancing ambition with spirituality. 11. Aquarius, Dili. In Hebrew, Dili means jar of water. This sign corresponds to the month of Shvat, celebrated with Tu B'Shvat, the festival of trees and renewal. Aquarians are innovative, original, and forward-thinking. They think outside the box, bringing fresh ideas and often seeing solutions others miss. They value freedom, creativity, and collective causes. But in rigid environments, they may feel suffocated. Their challenge is to use independence not as an escape, but as service to the collective, balancing innovation with accountability. 12. Pisces Dogim. In Hebrew, Dogim means fish, linked to the month of Adar, a time of joy and celebration in Israel, marked by Purim. Piscians are naturally empathetic, sensitive, and generous. They feel others' pain almost as if it were their own. They are dreamers, creative souls, and spiritual seekers. The water element gives them emotional depth, but can also lead to escapism and illusion. Their challenge is to transform sensitivity into spiritual strength, choosing pleasures that uplift the soul instead of temporary escapes. When balanced, Pisces becomes a channel of healing, compassion, and inspiration. Conclusion: the sacred use of biblical astrology. Now that we've walked through all 12 signs, from Aries to Pisces, it is vital to highlight a key lesson. Biblical astrology is not fatalism, but a map for self-awareness. The prophets feared that people would replace trust in God with omens and predictions. That is why they warned against those who manipulated heavenly signs to deceive. When understood correctly, astrology becomes a tool, not to lock us into a fixed destiny, but to reveal tendencies, gifts, and challenges we must work on. The stars can indicate directions, but it is only through free will that we decide our journey. God gave us the ability to choose, and therein lies the greatness of humanity. To use celestial influences as steps toward growth, without ever abandoning faith, ethics, or responsibility. Therefore, studying biblical astrology is not about reading a trivial horoscope. It is about understanding how God designed creation, how He ordered cycles and forces that manifest both in the heavens and on earth. May this knowledge illuminate your path, help you recognize your strengths, transform your weaknesses, and walk more consciously in connection with the divine. If this content inspired you, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends and family who also seek wisdom and self-knowledge. Your support allows us to continue bringing reflections, light, and learning to everyone. Thank you so much for watching until the end. May your journey always be filled with peace, deep wisdom, and true connection with God. Shalom, and see you in the next video.